When I found out that Ben was being honored by Legal Aid DC, I said, what took so long?
Everybody matters to Ben, and he wants to know who you are. He wants to know what he can do to help you. He wants to grow from knowing you, and he wants you to grow from knowing him.
He's very caring and thoughtful and would want to make sure that those who don't have access to justice do. And he's one of the people that I think embodies in everything that he does.
It makes an enormous difference in a law firm when the very head of the law firm not only encourages pro bono work, not only signs up for pro bono work, but actually has a pro bono client who he's on the phone with.
Claudia Ashton was a woman who lived in Stanton Dwellings in Washington, D.C. It's a public housing project. She and her daughter, Aisha Lindsay, and son lived together. In that period, there was still lead paint being used in housing, certainly in public housing. And her daughter ate Chip's lead paint and became very ill. Fortunately, she came through that, and we obtained a modest settlement for her and her mother. And the idea was to set it aside such that when she came of age, she'd have money to start a life, a career, maybe a down payment on a modest home.
But what happened in the case went far beyond Claudia Ashton. Ben was able to not only get her compensation, but to fundamentally change how lead was treated in public housing, resulting in the elimination of lead in public housing not only here in the district, but across the country.
The way Ben views public service is that after his family, that's his highest calling.
Carl Dupree is a former Gallaudet student, and he was on campus working with the professor to try to take care of some business while his family was waiting for him.
They were waiting for him in the cafeteria. He never made it there. He was taken to the ground first by 2, 4, 6, and then 8 officers, and he was choked to death. And sadly, the officers then could not sign. And it's as though you were at a university in France, but no one spoke French.
And it raised a lot of issues about security practices and sort of the management of those practices in the context of an environment where many of the people were hearing impaired.
Now, there are certain things the law can't do, can never replace a father, cannot take the father to his daughter's father-daughter dance at the first Little League softball or baseball game. So there's certain things the law can never fill. And I do not wish to suggest that we were able to do something as great as that. But I do think we helped make it right for them. And I hope that this case resulted in long-lasting change at the university.
I think it's important to have someone like Ben Wilson in your corner because Ben brings credibility. And when Ben gets behind an issue that he cares about, I think that says something.
Ben is someone who's always giving back. He's someone who people would say he's been blessed in life, and he would say he's been blessed in life, but he wants to be a blessing to others.
One of the first efforts or missions of the Diverse Lawyer Network, which Ben started and was the leader, was to go out and meet with general counsel around the country to try to convince them to hire diverse lawyers to represent their companies.
What he's doing is he is widening the pipeline of availability and access, and it is truly having an impact because looking back on it, there's so many people who you can say who, you know what, Ben connected me with this person, and this person helped me to do that.
I think his presence, his support, and even him just introducing me to people has really helped me realize how much I, as a Black man, fit into the environmental law space.
Ben opens his office, his phone, his mind to anyone who wants to talk with him.
I think of him all the time. On a hard day or when something seems overwhelming, I always think of Ben because he would say to me, "Daughter, what can you do better?" But I don't think I knew how much you can help people, how hard you can work towards making other people's lives richer, and I learned that from Ben.
We all want a purpose. We all want a meaning to life. And if you can have a positive impact on someone else, however small, you've had an impact. So that would be my dream. By the way, I went on forever. You're not going to use any of that stuff.
Loved all of it.